When you're making the 10th album, it doesn't really feel like, you know, you're making the 10th album, it's the 20th year, there's a big, it was a bit of a coincidence, it was falling the same time as Word Gets Around, you know, 20th anniversary. I think when you're making a record, you just come in every day and make songs, you know, this is where we do most of it, so we come in every day, just do whatever feels good that day, and then it's a case of compiling them all to make a record, really, which has been the case for the last 3 albums, which has been really kind of freeing in many ways, because it's not been some record company guys saying you've got 8 weeks to go make an album. So we just come in here and mess about and then figure it all out later. So didn't really feel any pressure from it or any major anniversary candle blowing out moment, did you?
No, it's when everybody else reminds us. It's just like, oh, yeah, thanks for reminding us again. Yeah. I suppose we just keep on moving forward, trying to find new things, you know, like about what we can do and new sounds we can play with. And I think that's what we try and do on each album.
I never wanted to be in a band that was on our 20th year going, all right, let's go and do a big Word Gets Around tour, you know. It's not really... An anniversary for me is not really about that. It's about the 20 years of catalogue. It's about all those songs and all those different styles and all those things you've done over those years. It's not about your first album, you know. It's just when you kind of signed on the dotted line, really. It becomes a bit too nostalgic for me. We did one-off gig in the Ulu and it was great. It was like an old little punk rock gig. It was a lot of fun, great learning Word Gets Around again, all the B-sides and stuff like that. I forgot lots and did, you know, stuff blew up and all that, but it was really energetic. It was good. I don't know what it was like for you learning it all again, but it was like...
It was already in my blood, you know.
See?
I was in the cover band as a boy, you know, phonics cover band, so I know all that energy. But I think that it's so exciting. A lot of bands can't make new stuff after a certain amount of time. You know, we're still making great, relevant, amazing music. There's still thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people who want to come and see us. Why not continue to make new music as opposed to rely on what you've got? You've already got that, we've already got that, they've already got that, the world's got that. But the new phonics stuff, that's what it's about. That's what this whole building's about, isn't it? That's it, that's what it's about. The 20 years is about this, you know, about the future, not necessarily the past. The past is very vibrant, but the future's much, well, it's very exciting.
On the last couple of albums, we've had the first, perhaps 2 singles, very high energy. It's a new, you know, like a new sound for us as well, and it just turns people's heads, you know, like it's like we said a couple of weeks ago, you need to give people an excuse to go and get another Stereophonics album because we've already got 9 or, you know, like 2 or 3 or whatever. So we keep on finding new things about what we can do, put them on the record, you know, like it excites us. And then hopefully, you know, like that excites the crowd then. So.
Yeah, it's been cool though. It's good looking out to see there's people there who probably weren't born when we did Word Gets Around. That's kind of weird and good, you know, but it's a good feeling.
I don't know, it's got a lot of optimism on it. You know, it hits on, you know, like there's a lot of stuff out there at the minute, which, you know, like there's a lot of bad news, you know, like it's constantly being fed to your phones or 24-hour news channel, and I suppose, you know, like entertainment is the release for that, and that's basically what we do, you know, like we entertain people when they come see us in the gigs, and the albums are there for the escape for people, you know, like if people got a shit day, put music on, makes you feel better, so.
There's a lot of different tracks on the record, you know, but I think Caught by the Wind was a song that was written after, I guess, partly, I mean, musically it wasn't, but lyrically, I guess, there was partly written in the aftermath of stuff like that happened in the Bataclan, and we've played the Bataclan, and it's weird when something like that comes into your work environment, because then you start almost making decisions about where to go and whatever to do in your life, you know, because there's an anxiety involved in, oh fuck, if we go there, is that going to happen? But then it becomes so random, it happens everywhere anyway, but then the chorus of the song kind of takes you on a much more hopeful lyric, really, talking about, I guess the song becomes more about losing out on the innocence of the cool stuff you did when you were younger and childhood and stuff like that, whether that is just lying on the grass looking at planes going by or whatever it is, but very cool, quiet moments which get constantly taken away by 24/7 bad news, basically. And I think that's a shame, because I think there's a lot of good stuff out there as well, but we're constantly bombarded with all this stuff. So the record, weirdly, I thought was going to become more about talking about the bad side of it all, but it actually became, all right, there's some issues going on here, but it actually came out the other side talking about the hope and the celebratory side of it all. And that was completely accidental, and I didn't know that as I'm writing it. That's only something I can look at a year later. The album's been done a year now, so. I've always written from a guy on the streets point of view more than I have. I mean, what am I supposed to say about trees and Donald Trump that nobody's ever saying every fucking single second of the day anyway? You know, it's chaos from the top down, and there's stuff happening on the streets which is not good, you know, and there's incidents happening in my area, there's incidents happening in your area, I'm sure, and it all comes from the fact that, you know, you take a youth club away from a district, then you take the swimming pool away, and then you close down the music section of the all of a sudden there's a thing that the kids are not getting, or there's something that's not connecting, and they're looking for something. And then, in my experience of growing up in an area like that, as soon as there's nothing to do, you find something to do. So if you either go robbing, you're nicking a car, or you're doing something, and before you know it, shit starts happening. So that's what I'm saying. But now people are constantly, I guess, distracted all the time. There's no cool looking out of a window thinking of a cool idea. There's no time for imagination to come in, and I think the record's touching on that more than it's talking about the politics of it. It's talking about the intrusion of what I think it's good to be bored sometimes as well as bad. You know, you can come up with some really good shit when you've got nothing going on in your head, but if you're bombarded with information all the time, I feel there's not a lot of space left, which I guess is what Scream Above the Sounds means. It's just trying to get above that noise that's constantly there, you know. I think it's tough for the bands to kind of come through in the same way. I think we were one of the last bands to come through. I think one of the reasons why there was an affiliation with people like, whether it was people from Zeppelin or The Who or the Stones that attracted to us, was probably we were one of the last bands to come through in the way where you were in the back of a van playing pubs, workingmen's clubs, get a record deal and sell records. Because after our kind of generation, I suppose it went more to talent shows and the internet, and you know, from the Arctic Monkeys perspective, that kind of period then where it was all much more based on online stuff or discovering people that way. So I found it very tricky now for young bands to get the development time, because if it doesn't sell a gazillion records, you know, in 10 minutes, then they don't really get much time to grow. Our label didn't want us to sell a lot of them first. They kind of always wanted this gradual climb so that the fan base would become real, you know, not like some sort of media invented thing. It was, you know, you sell out to your clubs first and then get a front cover, you know. So then it's tough now. I wouldn't know how to go about it really.
Yeah, I think there's always room for, you know, like people to come through, and I suppose kids will always find the next best thing. They're always on the lookout for the next best thing, you know, like, and I suppose music always changes, you know, like now mainstream charts is heavily based on duets and featuring this, that and the other. Guitar music will always be there and it'll always come back around, you know, like it's been that way for the last 20 years since we've been in the business, you know, like it's gone up, it's gone down. So yeah, it'll come back.
It's going to be a big show, I think.
Yeah, keeping it moving forwards. You're going to get excited.
You're going to get a Tommy Lee spinning drum kit on this one.
I'm going up in the air, going out of the arena.
Fucking risers getting higher.
I'm going back home, have a little bath, going back, little drum solo, out of the audience. This is all real. This is all planned. It's exciting times.
We need to get the airplane, the bomber as well. Like,
we've got it all.
Motorhead.
We're going to take from everyone right now. Yeah. Have a bit of it
pyro. Indo pyro. So Kiss once in Cardiff fucking ice rink, they set fire to the ceiling with an Indo pyro. That didn't work out.
Our experience of pyro is quite comical anyway. When we done Donington racetrack, the fella was there and he was going to give us a demonstration on the pyro, and it was literally like he just set a box of matches on fire. Yeah. And we're like, how much for that?
Yeah, that's the fucking thing. When they tell you how much it blows up in the sky, that was fucking 10 grand. For that?
We got the songs though, you know, so ultimately we could play on a box.
Set fire to them.
We could play anywhere, and you know, the songs will do what they need to do, but we like to incorporate all these other things just to accentuate it. And just changing it up is good because, you know, the stage can just be this one thing. You know, it's nice to have things out there for us to keep it exciting for them, you know, and then it's this evolving thing of excitement in the room, you know. It's all about trying to keep everything vibrant and real and moving forwards, you know, and that's what's going on now, you know, with us.